Congratulations on 10 years. How did you two meet and start working together?
Well, we were at this celebrity lunch in London, and there was lots of celebrities there, and then Aurelie come up to me, "Are you a celebrity?" No. And she came over and talked to me, and what did you say? Do you remember?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think I was very intrigued by your style and what you were doing, and you know, you really captivated my attention, and I thought, like, you know, I had to speak to you and know a bit more what you do. And then we decided to meet up in my studio and have a chat.
Yeah.
You know, I think I saw a picture on your phone of one of your models,
Yeah.
and that you worked with on. And I really liked the picture, and I said, "Oh, that could be really cool, maybe to collaborate."
That's it, because we both decided. She said, "Oh, I'm an artist," and I said, "I'm a photographer. That's a similar thing. Maybe we can do something together." Then she looks at a famous photo of my Misty's cello and a few others. "I really like them photos. I'm having an exhibition soon at the Ox Hotel. Would you like to come? And maybe we can talk about, maybe you can do some photos of me as an artist for a promo for my art."
Yeah.
And then we did I did some promo shots for her for then, and then we got on so well. We said, let's try out some photos, you know, of you being my muse. And
I remember, yeah, exactly. I had an exhibition at the time. It was part of a group show, and he came and did some pictures there. And then it started all by, like, doing some photo with my painting in the studio, playing with the setup of the painting and the brushes and stuff. And then it evolved into something deeper and really creative.
Yeah, and then we both discussed the next session. We said we have to have some criteria because we're both creative, and we both had the same attitude about pushing the limits of art and have no rules, like all the top artists like Dali or somebody, you know, who doesn't have any art rules, like people who go to college probably have these set rules you have to do. So I went out with a college professor once who was art teacher, and she said, "Has to be done this way, has to be done that way." And we don't come from that school. We come from school. We do
School of life.
School of
we
life.
learn by ourselves, you know, self-taught, and when you see what you know, some photographers like Man Ray or Lee Miller have done, like, they're really inspiring, and they've done a lot of surreal photo as well. So I think they are a part of the inspiration for us, and yeah, so we have, that's the idea, pushing boundaries.
Yeah, and then the first
in an artistic way,
yeah, the first photo was a very interesting one because I had some Christmas lights that I lent to a friend, and I brought them, and I went to meet you at your studio to do some other photos. I said, let's just see what this Christmas light looked like around your neck.
I remember.
And then we wanted a subdued lighting and have that as the only lighting. And then I thought, right, because of the history of nudes in the art world, I said, do you want to try that? And then she said the funniest thing that I always remember, makes me smile every time: "Can I keep my bracelet on?"
Exactly. Bracelets were quite important.
and for some reason, they had a blue tint to the light. And then this was our first canvas that we sold. We put it onto the market, and it was really popular. So we knew straight away we got the right vibe.
Yeah, we knew it straight away that you know, people liked
what we're doing. Yeah,
definitely.
You've done so much: photos, music, painting. How do you keep all of those different creative projects connected?
Well, you go first.
Yeah, I think, like, because we are multidisciplinary artists, for us it's quite natural, like, in a way, to kind of mix all the projects and go from one to another. I think, like, yeah, photo was definitely our first medium together, and I wanted to be like a creative model for Russ, and being his muse for that, and expressing myself, expressing various emotions through the photo. And it's a bit like a still from a film, you know, there is the action behind, there is the emotion, and we capture the still from it. And so that's how it started. But I think the songs came naturally because I always liked singing. I told him this, and we started to experiment with backing vocals, and maybe after a little bit more leading voice. And I included some of my songwriting poems. It all went very naturally, and the intuitive inspiration was there.
Yeah, and as probably people may or may not know, I'm the world's only male geisha. David Bowie was the other one, and he's the one who christened me a geisha. And that's why you were wearing the old geisha kimonos today. And the great Kelly Miller has now come up with a new geisha look with this eye thing. You see, because normally what people don't know about geisha, they know the white face of the geisha, but when you're a full geisha like I am, you don't have to wear the white face, it's optional. But the Maiko, which is the apprentice geisha, has to wear the white face all the time. But Kelly's come up with a new idea as a tribute to the geisha, so we hope you like it. We'll look for some feedback on it. But yeah, as a geisha, I do all the arts. I started off as a DJ, and then so I got popular #1 DJ in Europe. And I also wrote books and film scripts when I was young and carried on doing that. Then I married a pop star, and that got me into the music business, writing songs, producing music. And then I became in a band, many bands, and started singing and playing the punk cello. And then everyone kept asking me to do photos because my ex-wife was quite a pin-up, so I did her photos. Then I did this famous one called Misty Cello, and so everyone kept saying do photos as well. And so that's why they all seem to cross over, as you just asked, because one art seems to generate something you need for another art, like a photo that's inspired of music, or music's inspired by poetry, and it crosses all the arts. And that's why, you know, it's easy to do for us to cross over all the arts. And when you're a geisha, that's what you do, and you're like a walking work of art as well. So it's all art connected to different things. One inspires the other.
Exactly, it's basically the same thing but in a different form. When we feel something or specific emotion, we want to paint it, we want to sing it. We like, it's all, you know, another a transformation of a specific situation, you know. So for me, it all seems very, it all goes, everything is merging, just like that, you know. And this is what I do in my practice as well as a performer, painting live, mixing with poetry, dance, music, theater, all of this, you know.
What's your creative process like? Do you each have your own role, or is it more of a team effort?
Well, it usually starts off with, I come up with a concept or a number of concepts, and then we get together and I explain to Maiko or Aurelie, this isn't the concept. And then once she gets into the character of the concept, she inspires me to come up with some other things, and then she chips in some ideas, and then we do the photo this way. Like we're like telepathic sometimes.
Yeah, we are definitely telepathic. We have like joint ideas, and I kind of like straight away I feel like I recognize what he wants to say as a message, and I'm trying to shape the idea with him, and so I give my ingredient of ideas, because we have like the various different skills as well, so it's a way to complement each other, and it's a really great team, you know. Yeah. So the creative process behind it is there are different steps behind it, but it all comes usually very quickly.
Yeah, and then there's a thing I would say, how we described the thing. It's about concept, contrast, and composition, the 3 C's, and that's what makes our photos stand out. And they will have a theme, like you can see some in the background here. There's one here that we did for the 100th anniversary of the suffragette movement. And the idea, because we're into women's rights and stuff, they used to be chained up, so we want to find somewhere that had a chain, free from chains. But because it was the 100th anniversary, I wanted to find somewhere in London that hadn't changed in 100 years. And there's a bit in the Thames when the water goes down, and it hasn't changed in 100 years. And it has a really atmospheric kind of place with the wood, and we just did it. And then you latched onto the chain straight away. You got the vibe. This is it. And we captured the 100th anniversary of the Free from Chains one, and that's how one concept is gone from fruition to conclusion. That's a good example.
Exactly. Yeah, he always come up with like very, very innovative ideas of setup, background, locations, and all this kind of things. So I jump on the wave, and I follow him, and we go deeper into the idea and make it happen.
The photo book is such a huge milestone. Why did you decide to create it, and how did you choose which photos to include?
Well, in fact, Maiko didn't even realise it was our 10th anniversary, and I said, "Oh yeah, it's our 10th anniversary. We've been working together 10 years. It flew by because we have so much fun doing the photos, don't we?"
Exactly.
So then I thought, right, well, to mark a 10th anniversary, why don't we do a photo book? But because we've done some iconic photos that people consider iconic, also feature on it. She's featured on lots of book covers, magazines, music covers, and so on. And we thought, yeah, so, but we do so many great photos. And we used to say, we were talking about this, and we always say, we never fail to get what's called an iconic shot, but we always get like another 10 or 20 really brilliant shots that we never use. And we thought, it's a shame these don't get used. So there's lots of rare photos that we've done that people have never seen. So we thought if we could do the book, we can put the famous ones in, but we got room to put couple of hundred of new ones. So I chose what ones I liked. She chose one she
Yeah,
liked.
exactly. It was a good occasion to put extra photo that people didn't know and the audience, had no idea about, because sometimes we post on social media, but now there are a lot of photos that we have been doing that are really, really good, but the audience didn't know. So it's really good occasion. Yeah, it was hard to choose because I think, to be honest, for me, I'm feeling we could fill like another book easily with really, really good photo. Because there are many, many other great ones, and it was really sometimes we had dilemmas to choose, but yeah, we chose the most important one, the one that really remind us like a specific, very, very powerful moment that we wanted to express.
Yeah, and the other thing about the book is we wanted to give people an insight into photography and also insight into the behind the scenes of the photo. This is how the photo came about, the story behind not every photo but quite a few photos, and then our story about why, how we got together, which we're explaining now. And Aurelie also talks about the history of art as well, to do with how it's influenced us as a model as well as a muse.
Yeah, exactly.
Why Muse is important in the history.
I think, yeah, this book is full of there are a lot of details about how the photo were taken, how the ideas came, and also how it influenced us as artists. And I try to speak exactly about like some art movements and how it impacted also my other practice. So definitely for people who like our work, it was a way to give them a little bit more insights behind the screen.
Russell, what is it about Aurelie that inspires you as a photographer? What are you hoping to capture in your pictures of her?
Well, she's brilliant at doing expressions with just like that, because she does acting as well. But it's just like that inspires me. And as I say, the thing that inspires me most about her, as I said earlier on in a way, is the fact that I've done a lot of model shoots with other models, and you'll say, try this, try that, and they'll try normal things. But if you try some outrageous idea that, I don't know about that. But with Aurelie, because we agreed at the beginning, push the boundaries, there's nothing on, no matter how crazy it sounds, if I say, let's hang from the ceiling or whatever it might be, let's do it.
Yeah.
And so that inspires me, the fact that she just will goes for it, and that's what makes it work so well.
Definitely, I mean, for me, in the other way around, I worked with some other photographers, and it's quite robotic usually. Like, they tell me what to do, and they give me how to pose and all these kind of things. So yeah, it's very quick, efficient and stuff, but it's not like as creative. It's not like artistic, and we can't do some pictures that are powerful and a little bit like more innovative. And that's what I found with Russ, because like I could also tell him like the crazy ideas I had, without being like, someone telling me, no, we can't do it. There was always a way to make the picture with him. And there are so many more ideas to explore, to be honest.
Aurelie, expanding on that, what is it like being the subject of Russell's photos for such a long time? Has your relationship with the camera changed over the years?
So it's interesting because in a way, like, I feel that at the beginning we were doing many, many, many raw photos. Because we didn't know, we were trying to learn how to work together and stuff. And at the end, so we had so many to edit, we didn't, it was broader. But after that, the more we worked together, the more in a way you knew what you wanted. I knew what I wanted, and we did like minimal set of raw photo, because straight to the point we were going, and we knew when we had the photo when it was right, and we didn't need to continue doing picture on the session, and it was very efficient somehow. But and it was a way to try different more outfit, more ideas, but yeah, for me it changed a bit my relationship with camera, because I felt like it's powerful how to, like, a photo from like a raw photo can get transformed with effects, with mise en scène, on settings, on objects. So for me they were very artistic, almost like surreal photo. A lot of them are. And so yeah, I found it really fascinating to see my transformation, like not recognize myself in some of the shots, because yeah, playing with light and contrast, and so yeah, I feel like I grew a lot as a creative model, in a way, an artistic model.
Besides being a collection of pictures, what story do you hope the photo book tells about your journey as artists and as a team?
That if you have the right attitude and no holds barred, you can achieve any you can do groundbreaking artwork and don't put yourself in a box. And it's just it's also enjoyable. We have a laugh together as well, and we become really good friends, close friends as well. It's not just a working thing. And so it's been a very interesting journey how we've evolved over this period of time. And like I say, even I'd say in the last 5 years, easy we can just turn up, and like you say, we've got to the point now where I just say we've got the photo, and we can do like 4 concepts in one photo session in a couple of hours, whereas you ask other photographers, they'll take like 6 hours to do one idea.
Yeah, it's very, very different. And in a way, like I realized, like, I didn't especially want to have like collaboration with many photographers, because I had like, it's as if like there with Russell, like many photographers in one, because there's so many thematics we have explored like from the beginning. Like it's been very inspiring also for my own paintings as well, as an artist, like change my vision and stuff. So it's interesting, but I think also like we have a lot of common interests, common thematic that we want to explore, poetry wise, acting wise. Like, so every time I was coming, we had ideas, and we had pre-ideas. He always had in mind what we're gonna do, but sometimes we came up with ideas on the day as well. When I was yeah.
And also, it's some of the photo session inspired. Like she said, all right, my favourite is one we did early on, where we do a lot of Valentine shoot, like, but with a different twist to them, a more original Valentine type of shoot. And it was to do with roses, and she said, I'll take the rose home. And then she sprayed it, and it just showed me this painting, and I was blown away by it. It was like an embryo or something, and it summed up our relationship, because we'd only just started not long, and it was like an embryo, but it was a flower being spray painted around, and that was very original, and that inspired her to do it somehow, and I was inspired by that myself.
You definitely inspired me to do this spray flower painting that I don't think I would have had the idea to do it by myself, and it was the embryo of our project, of our artistic collaboration. Really, it's a great image.
On the album Sensory Art, Russell, you've called the band Psychick Holiday, pioneers of pop noir. What does that mean exactly? And why do you think it fits your music?
Well, I mean, I've been doing pop noir for a while now. I started it with my previous band, Box Office Poison, and the pop noir style music has got a jazz punk attitude, classical ambience, hypnotic grooves, sexy or gritty lyrics, and a filmic feel, has unusual instruments in it. And so that's kind of what pop noir is all about. But with Sensory Art, that was with my I started Psychick Holiday, and they like, it's like doing 3-minute film epics in songs, so it suits other arts. And then Aurelie came along when we worked together, as we've been talking about, as artist and muse, And she said, "Oh, I like to do a bit of singing." And then we happened to be doing a cover of a song called San Francisco that's quite famous. And so in my previous band, I occasionally used to do French version of song as well as English. So I said, "Oh, would you like to try the French version of this San Francisco song?" So she tried it and said, I was really impressed with it. I thought that came out really well. And also I like to experiment with backing vocals. I don't do like what do you call it, harmonies and stuff. And I asked her to maybe come and join the band and do these backing vocals, atmospheric backing vocals, and she got really good at those. And I said, right, then we're doing a new album, Century Art, you can step up and do some lead vocal, and then we start writing some songs together as well.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it was really cool. And also I was developing my poetry at the time, and how to transform the poem into song were really something I've been passionate about, and I wanted to learn more about it. So I was like coming with some poetry and show it to Russ, and then we tried to make it as songs. And so yeah, most of the time it was really smooth, and so I guess like definitely starting a Psychick Holiday bands, doing some vocal from other people, and then coming up with my own lyrics, trying to make songs together, was really interesting process.
And then we also started moving into painting as well, because Aurelie's obviously an established abstract artist in her own right. And she said, "You do all the arts, but you never do painting. Why don't you do painting?" So I was saying, "Well, I don't know. I need to think of a new thing." And I come up with this century art idea about pushing emotions and both painting at the on the canvas at the same time. And then I said we needed a name for it, so I come up with the name Century Art, and that's how the album title came around. And everyone loves the cover for the album Century Art as well, because it incorporates the painting we did and also us on the cover, but it's done in an artistic way, and everyone just said that cover stands out so much. But this is a good example of, like the question earlier, how the music and the art met together in that one album cover.
Right, yeah, exactly. So it was interesting to paint together. In a way, it was I was showing him how to do it, so it was for in that direction that time where I was teaching him something, and yeah, it was great because also it was stimulating other ideas too, and it was also a combination of multidisciplinary art forms together. And it was good to show the painting on the album, definitely. Yeah. Now, sensory art is a unique concept, I guess. For
Because I don't know if we ever discussed this. Is there ever been paintings where two artists painting on the same canvas before? It's been done before.
It's been done a bit, like artists like painters have collaborated. Also, there is something called exclusive scopes that the surrealists were doing, where everyone was painting on the same big canvas drawings. Maybe sometimes.
But what was interesting? Was interesting about it in a way is because, like you say, you were teaching me at the same time, because I'm an absolute beginner, and then at the same time I'm inspiring you by the idea of the century art, the pushing the emotion. And so we came teaching each other different things, and so it's interesting how the styles would mesh together in the painting.
Exactly. I think that's why it's not exactly like the same way than painting with another artist on the same canvas.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there was like other things that were part of the process that Russ came up with, and that created like this three-dimensional paint.
I came up with a very unusual one on my own, which was what I called a 4D painting, and because Maiko has a certain makeup and look that we do get for Psychick Holiday, I put these eyelashes on the painting, bits of her hair on this painting, and she kissed the canvas, so we got the lips, and it's like a very unusual 4D painting, but it's not painting as such. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's like almost a living, breathing work of art.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like a 4D one because there was some external elements, like some more like. Yeah, so it's like a sculpture almost.
A perfume sprayed on it.
A bit of perfume.
It's got all the senses on that one painting.
Yeah, all the senses were stimulated basically. Yeah.
Aurelie, you're the vocalist on the album. How does being a visual artist influence your singing and performing?
Wow, very interesting. I think in a way when you express yourself visually, you are you have like a part of the mind that is stimulated, but I always feel I want to kind of like sing. I mean, for me, singing is just a way to dream, to daydream, and because I work with a lot of musicians as well, and I paint the music, and the music sometimes is responding to my painting. So for me, it's very natural to kind of like mix song and painting, and to mix the vocals with the painting. So I think, yeah, I in a way immerse myself into the world of painting with all the colors, and when I come here, I feel I have the imagination stimulated to arrive with a different angle for the way I'm gonna sing, and it's definitely influencing my way to sing, and to find maybe a softer voice or something a little bit more. You know, I see my voice like a color somehow, because it's depending of how you feel, the moods, you know, will influence how you sing, and how you apply the colors as well. So yeah, so it's definitely, it's interesting. If I come here without having painted for a few days, I will not feel the same than if I've been painting, created some visual art. Yeah, I think it's definitely added some dimensions.
How do the album and the photographs connect? Is there a deliberate link between the music and the visuals?
Well, I think a lot of the songs are very visual, because, like I say, I call them 3-minute film epics thrown into, but you can experience musically, production-wise, and lyrically a story and an image when you listen to the music. And so I suppose that, in a way, you know, crosses over into creating an image.
Yeah, yeah, I think the image like of the cover, yeah, is like something that yeah, Russ has always in mind, like straight away, very quickly. He had in mind which image gonna go, depending, I guess, on the lyrics. Or...
Yeah, and another funny thing about it is we've done thousands and thousands of photos, but we come up with a concept, and then maybe like 2 years later we have a single with the name that suits that photo, but we did it 2 years before,
Yeah.
or a book cover that we did the session years before the concept, and then suddenly it just happens to be a perfect cover. So that's weird in a way, but it's kind of again linked up.
Yeah, exactly. Like sometimes, you know, there's a little bit of jet lag, jet lag between the work we do and when it's gonna be released. And yeah, that's make it. It's interesting to have sometimes flashback on what we've done, and making it more, yeah, more special in a way.
Can you talk about the creative process behind one of the songs on the album? Maybe a track that was particularly challenging or meaningful?
Well, I look at this in 3 different ways. There's 3 different songs that can encapsulate the album in a way. There's one that we wrote together, Century Art, which we just like. We wrote the lyrics jointly together, and then I come up with the music, and then I said let's just try and sing it together, and it just worked at the first take. We've been struggling to get it the same ever since when we do it live. But anyway, yeah. so it's like Century Art is the one that we collaborated the most. That's a joint effort. But yeah. on the other 2 songs, because we're both considered ourselves artistic soulmates. So Aurelie had written this poem about me called Artistic Soulmate, and I'd written another one about her artistic soulmate. So that bookended the album. And so it also incorporates our relationship in some way that crosses over into that album. But what would you say again on the album? Is there a different song you think was more challenging?
On the album, like, I mean, the Sensory Art one, yeah?
Yeah, that's the one. I wouldn't say it was challenging. It was just like, it was because it was weird just when we went to record it, and because we didn't know quite what, and I'd say, let's just feel the chorus, and then we just happened to get it just right the first time we did it.
I think it's we managed to make it right. What is challenging sometimes is like because there is a lot of improvisation around the song as well, so sometimes we sing it in a different way every time. So there is in a way, like every time we perform it, a little bit of a difference between the song that we did before or that is on the album. But I think it's part of the charm of it as well.
Yeah, but I think I know which one was the most challenging for Aurelie.
Yeah.
Femme Fatale.
Yeah, Femme Fatale.
Because I like Femme Fatales, and I told the story of a Femme Fatale, and she said, I don't know if I want to sing these lyrics. Everyone's going to think I'm a Femme Fatale. So I said, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, but and it also that the way I wrote that music is so jazzy and so improvisational. There's no like, if other musicians try to sing it, there's no like so many beats or so many bars that musicians think in these ways, beats, bars, chords and all this. I don't think that way. I just like to improvise it and feel it where it needs to go. And so each time it's going to be a little bit different. And I asked you to try and improvise, and this is how I want it. But it was a lot of improvisation, so that would be a challenging thing to do more.
Yeah, I think so. It's the Femme Fatale one is I like the jazzy vibes from the song, definitely. But yeah, no, the lyrics are quite strong and powerful and stuff. And for me, it's always like a challenge because I feel like but it's an acting, so I see it as acting. So in a way, like, you know, people know I'm not describing who I am. I'm not describing what I want to my behavior with people, and that's why it's an interesting challenge for me always to sing it, because I'm basically the opposite of the personality I have normally in this song. So it's an interesting, great experience.
So if you're a patsy out there, she's looking for you.
Exactly.
What do you want people to feel when they listen to the Sensory Art album?
That they've been taken to a new world. Like one journalist described it as Alice in Wonderland, going down a rabbit hole, but 12 different rabbit holes or 10 different rabbit holes, where the songs take you to a world you've never been before and experienced it both musically and lyrically. And that's how some people would describe it. And I like that. I think that's a good description, and I was happy with that how the album was seen that way by some people. But everyone gets something different out of listening to an album. Some tracks are a bit more catchy, some tracks resonate, the story or the lyric, and just the general feel. The production also takes people to different ways because of the way I mix and produce tracks. And it's kind of like I say, that so I was happy how it came out and how it's kind of, you know, that's what I achieved, tick some boxes. There'll be some people who go, oh, this is too different, too avant-garde, too and so they won't like it. But we like to we like to be appreciated by other artists and people looking for something different, not mainstream people who buy the chart stuff. What do you think?
I mean, I think like it's very. I'm going to remember the question. Sorry, I'm really.
What was the question?
Yeah, remind me the question.
What do you want people to feel when they listen to the Sensory Art album?
Yeah, so we want people to. I mean, for me, like I think the songs are really psychedelic most of the time. So it's just for people to escape their reality a little bit. So they go in another world when they listen to the songs. And they are transported, they are traveling. It's not like songs that just makes them be in their life, their daily life. Like some things that just make them dream a little bit. It's like when you go to see a play, a theater, you see all the costumes are different, so it makes you like feel like you are in another time scale. So yeah, same for the songs. I think it's like the psychedelic effect can trigger like emotions and can make people reflect as well. Yeah. That's what I want mainly.
Looking ahead, after a decade of working together, what's next for you both? Are there any projects or ideas you're excited about?
Well, we're always doing new music, and decided everything we do now we have a French version as well.
Yeah, I think
so it helps Maiko in lots of ways because she can get the song lyric royalty as well.
yeah.
And also we can do a French version, appeal to a different audience, and so we're pushing that idea more. But also we're moving into AI with the videos, pushing new boundaries with the pop videos we're doing. So that's an area we're exploring as well. And we also, because Aurelie she does acting, she likes to. I wrote a film noir script one day when I was sitting here having a cup of coffee, and I said, I just wrote this, let's try it out. Yeah. And she's excited to do that kind of like a little film or something of a.
Yeah, like.
So,
like a short film, or maybe when they've been part of a feature film, but like there's definitely this video dimension that we want to explore together, because we haven't done so many video yet, but it's on the way. And I think like, yeah, there will always be more photo, because I think we always have ideas coming and we want to experiment. So we'll continue to experiment with photo and potentially a bit of AI, which is interesting as well. On the songs, the French, I think it's always adding something to have a French version. So I'm feeling like it will be like we'll continue to evolve with us as artists as well, and the ideas will continue to emerge. You know, we have built such a strong foundation, and now it's continuous journey, and that you know, and every day is a new day, and we always, because he's extremely creative, and we come both with some concepts sometimes.
And I think the other thing we want to do, maybe we've done some smaller concerts before and they've gone down well, but we want to get more band members together and then do like maybe a tour into different countries like Japan or Europe and play some more bigger concerts and get a bigger audience to see what they think of what we're doing, because we're getting good reaction to what we're doing so far, but it's good to get a wider audience, but we're not going to go too mainstream, don't worry about that, but we want to get a big audience and get more band members involved. That's the next thing.
Yeah.
I think for this year, 2026 is one of the priorities for me to do that more. I think
it's the next step actually. Like I'm feeling to find musicians who join us and accompany us on having tours in different locations, and yeah, prepare the song properly, like having rehearsal and things, and going on stage, and having tours. I think that's one of our next steps.
What advice would you give to other artists who want to form a long-term creative partnership like yours?
Well, I think, yeah, being supporting each other, being always like helping the other person to, it's like a relationship, like a friendship, or more in a way, like, because you can have sometimes disagreement on things and have different vision on things, but not like clash and just disappear, and like, no, being like strong enough to continue and surprise each other, and always inspire each other, and I think like when there is really a chemistry, like a creative chemistry, it's we know it, and usually that for me actually, like at that stage, usually a long time, and I think I would always advise people to believe in the creative relationship, and not like always jump from one to another, always trying to be a little bit like to pursue and to persevere in the depths of how the creative friendship can evolve, really.
Yeah, I think to be compatible is important, and to kind of not have any rules, but at least be on the same page. As I say, one of the important things early on when we decided if we're going to do art, it's not just going to be photographer, model, glamour shot like most people would be asking you to do.
Yeah.
We both artists want to push something different, because we both had this thing: no barriers, no limits, no matter how crazy we're going to try it. You know, we had that ground in from the beginning, and so it stood us well for the 10 years. So there was never any questions, oh, shall we not do this? We just got on and do it, and we've got so many brilliant results by doing things that way. I'm always saying to people, just do it. But other artists, or they overthink it, and you ask people, what you up to? I'm thinking of doing this, and a year later they still haven't done it, or they're getting around to doing it, and we just get on and do. We used to do like a session every month. We've done a bit less lately because we're involved in many different projects, but even when we don't do a session for 3 months, we just click straight away.
Yeah.
From the moment we get back together again, because
Exactly.
we've got that strong bond that we had from the beginning, and because we were on the same artistic level, thinking similar, and we had the same outset ground in what we wanted to achieve, and then we're also very close friends now as well, so
Exactly.
and artistic soulmates.
Artistic semester, yeah, no, that's amazing, really. And as you say, like sometimes we don't do a session for a few months, and then when we come, like we try to, you know, like we catch up on all the, you know, ideas that we had in the meantime, and we try to make them happen. And as you say, we quickly like reconnect. It's a very, very spontaneous and beautiful, you know, journey that we are on. And And I'm feeling like, to be honest, like, yeah, it's really impressive 10 years and stuff. It can be like, wow, I haven't realized myself yet. That shows how time flies. But I think it's just the beginning. I'm feeling that there's still a lot to explore.
Yeah. That's it, folks.
Where can we find the Photobook? And also, where can we find more about sensory art and Psychick Holiday?
Right, the photo book is on decemberbooks.com. It's a limited edition, and Psykick Holiday are on Future Legend Records, and the CD, limited edition CD, which also has some of our paintings in with the lyrics, and then you can get it on Spotify, iTunes, the Psykick Holiday stuff. That's where you can get it.
Yeah, we will we have also Instagram where you can connect with us and see a little bit more about the news, always the updates about the projects.
Russell and Aurelie, that was absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much for inspiring all of us, and may your career success long continue.
Thank you so much for the interview.